Two military fighter jets emerged and headed toward the city. Those two fighter jets started dropping bombs all over the city. The entire city was reduced to ashes. The story begins by showing us a family who are happily spending their lives, but they had no idea that within just a few minutes, something was going to happen to them that would be terrifying even to think about. While the husband and wife were busy talking, suddenly they started hearing people screaming and shouting from outside. When they both went outside the house, they saw that there was chaos among the people outside. People were leaving their homes and running away, as if something big was about to happen. Jason and Beth saw that their neighbors were also quickly emptying their house in panic. Jason asked the neighbor what the reason was. Why were they leaving their house? But they were in such a hurry that they did not answer Jason's question. There, they saw that the neighbor's son was also packing his belongings. When Jason asked the boy where they were going, the boy replied that his father's friend was a government officer. He had said that a very poisonous virus had spread which turns a normal person into a monster. But just then, the boy's mother came there and started taking him away from there. Jason asked her what virus the boy was talking about. To this, the boy's mother said that this was not the time to explain. Take your wife and daughter and get as far away from this city as possible. Hearing this, Jason and Beth became extremely frightened. After that, without thinking twice, Jason put his family in the car and started driving them out of the city. But on the way, they saw that the neighbors who had been running away were now returning. This made the situation seem even stranger to them. Further ahead, they got stuck in traffic. When Jason and his family got out of the car, they saw that the only road leading out of the city had been closed by the police. Helicopters started patrolling the sky here and there. People were being told that a poisonous virus had spread in the city and that they should quickly return to their homes. Hearing this, Jason found it strange that if a virus had spread in the city, why were people being told to stay inside the city instead of being evacuated? Just then, suddenly a huge rock fell from the nearby mountain onto their car. Seeing this, they became extremely frightened. The mountain started shaking. Then, from behind the mountain, two military fighter jets emerged and headed toward the city. Those two fighter jets started dropping bombs all over the city. The entire city was reduced to ashes. Jason's wife Beth immediately realized that if they had followed the police's orders and returned home, their fate would have been terrible. After that, the fighter jets started moving toward the people on the road. Seeing this, chaos broke out among everyone. Now everyone understood that the government wanted to kill them. Everyone started running here and there to save their lives. But Jason and Beth realized that no matter where they ran, those fighter jets would kill them. Then Beth turned around and saw a school on the mountain. She thought that place would be better for surviving. After that, Jason, Beth, and Joey started climbing the mountain toward the school. Behind them, the fighter jets started dropping bombs on the people present on the bridge. The three of them ran quickly and reached the school, and luckily, they found a tunnel there. Just a few seconds before the bomb exploded, they quickly entered the tunnel. As soon as the bunker door was closed, a huge explosion occurred above them. But luckily, they were underneath the bunker and their lives were saved. However, what surprised them was what kind of virus it was that had forced the government to kill everyone in the city. They could not understand anything. They only knew that if they wanted to stay alive, they had to quietly spend their lives in the bunker. But the problem for them now was how long they would have to live here and what they would do for food and water. The good thing was that there was a large amount of expired food stored there, which could last the three of them for a long time. Jason's wife, Beth, was extremely worried. She started thinking about her daughter, Joey, and what they would do if she became sick. Beth had also injured her hand quite badly while closing the door. They were also worried that the poisonous virus might have attacked their bodies. But there was no time to think about that yet. They now had to make the bunker safe so that no one could open the bunker door from above. Jason firmly locked the bunker door with an iron chain and decided that they would now hide here and spend the rest of their lives. But life underground was not easy. Every day, they ate the same food, drank muddy water, and played cards in their free time. They had completely lost contact with the outside world. After living there for many days, they became extremely frustrated with being trapped inside the bunker. But what could they do? If they went upstairs, they would not survive. This life made Jason's family feel as if it were the end of the world. Joey asked her father, "Dad, how long will we stay here?" Jason had no answer to this question. He simply told his daughter that they would go outside when the virus was gone. He placed his fingers over his daughter's eyes and made her imagine the outside world. In this way, the days passed and then the months. They did not know that they had already spent more than 300 days inside this bunker waiting to come out. Joey would look at the outside world through the periscope her mother had made. Outside, there was nothing but a scene of destruction. It looked as if the entire world had been burned to ashes. There was not a single sign of any human being. Seeing all this, the little girl began to think that perhaps they were the last people left in this world. Her mother comforted her and said, "Don't think like that. Maybe your friends are hiding somewhere just like us." It was now nighttime, and it was time for dinner. They had very little food left, so the three of them were managing by eating only a small amount of food. But today, because of Joey's insistence, she was given an entire can. When Joey opened the tin can, she saw that it was empty from the inside. There was a small hole on the back of the can. Perhaps something had stolen the food from inside it. Beth checked all the remaining cans and discovered that a total of 12 cans were empty. This made them extremely worried because this was their food supply for 2 weeks. Beth looked toward the ventilation grate and guessed that perhaps a rat had entered and taken the food. Beth said that if it was a rat, they would have to kill it quickly. Otherwise, it would destroy all their food. Seeing his daughter's sad face, Jason comforted her and said not to worry about small things. Even if the food ran out, he would go upstairs and bring back some supplies. The next day, while Joey was playing with blocks with her mother, a faint sound came from behind them. When Joey turned around, she saw that a rat had entered again to steal a tin can. Before the rat could escape, Joey immediately called her parents. Today, they had to kill this rat at all costs. Jason angrily took out a knife and moved toward it to cut it into pieces, but the little rat was very fast. It dodged Jason's attack and escaped, knocking over the lantern placed on the table. Just as it was about to enter its hole, Beth suddenly lunged at it and killed the rat. They were all celebrating the fact that they had killed the rat, but on the other side, the fire from the fallen lantern was slowly spreading. Jason ran to turn off the lantern, but the lantern was very hot, which burned Jason's hand, and when the glass of the lantern shattered, the entire table caught fire. Beth tore off the curtain and tried to put out the fire. Jason took half a bucket of water from the tap and poured it over the fire. Somehow, the two of them managed to put out the fire, but the danger was not over. Instead, things were about to become even more difficult for them, because although they had managed to put out the fire, the smoke coming from it had filled the entire bunker with smoke. The smoke was slowly escaping upward through the ventilation grate. Seeing this, they all became frightened because this smoke could reveal their hiding place. It was revealing their location. Now, everyone was sitting there holding their breath. Jason said that perhaps the darkness of the night would hide the smoke and no one would find out about our hiding place. The three of them stayed awake throughout the entire night under the shadow of fear. The next morning, just to reassure themselves, they looked outside through the periscope, but the ground seemed to slip from under their feet. They saw that a huge cloud of smoke had risen outside. Seeing this, their anxiety began to increase. They became completely convinced that the secret of their hiding place had been revealed. Then, Beth said that if smoke had risen, there must also be ash collected nearby, and while investigating it, someone could discover their hiding place. That is why we now have to clean up the ash. After that, the husband and wife decided to go outside and clean it up. Before leaving, Jason told his daughter Joey to promise him that no matter what sound she heard from outside, or whatever happened, she must not come outside. After getting this promise from his daughter, they unlocked the chain on the door. They carefully listened to the sounds outside, and when they were sure that there was no one outside, the two of them opened the bunker door and went outside. Now their daughter was left alone inside. She was waiting for her parents, but after waiting for a long time, when her parents still did not return, she climbed onto a stool and began looking at the situation outside through the telescope. Soon, she saw her parents trying to hide the bunker door. But then, Joey saw something that made her breath catch in her throat. She saw a black shadow in the distant forest moving rapidly toward them. The little girl shouted loudly, telling her father to look behind him, but the distance was too great. Her parents could not hear her. In panic, the girl forgot her fear and climbed the stairs and came out of the bunker. As soon as she came outside, she realized that her parents were no longer there. In desperation, the girl began loudly calling for her parents. Suddenly, someone grabbed her mouth from behind. It was none other than her mother. A few seconds later, a herd of wild deer quickly passed through that area. Although all three of them narrowly escaped, Beth's fear increased even more. The way these deer were running was surely an attempt to escape from something dangerous. Everyone realized that there was danger, and they quickly ran back toward the bunker and entered it. Jason closed the bunker door with wooden planks and tightly secured it with an iron chain, then told everyone to remain completely silent. Just then, they heard the faint sound of footsteps above them. It seemed as if someone was coming toward the bunker door. It continued moving around above the bunker for several minutes. The three of them slowly moved away from the bunker door and went farther inside. Perhaps whatever was outside had still not realized that someone was inside the bunker below. Joey began crying out of fear. Beth tried to silence her and said that if the sound reached outside, everything would be over. The three of them had slowly moved quite far away from the bunker door. They were moving farther away because even if someone opened the bunker door from above, they would not be visible from there. But then, the rope of the doll Joey was holding got caught on a screw. The screw slowly began to loosen. Seeing this, Jason and Beth held their breath because that rope was connected to the sound switch inside the doll. Before they could do anything, the screw suddenly came out. And at that very moment, sounds began coming rapidly from inside the doll. Jason immediately tore the doll apart and broke the speaker inside it, but now it was too late. The thing that had been following them from above had detected them. Suddenly, there was a loud impact from above, and then the echo of heavy footsteps stopped directly above the bunker door. It had finally found their hiding place and began trying to open it. It was pushing the bunker lid with great force, and even though it was secured with chains, the danger was clearly felt. The monster above now knew that there must be someone underneath. Although the door was secured with strong iron chains, against the terrifying strength of that creature, the chains began breaking one by one. Seeing this, Jason realized that the door would not hold for much longer, so he quickly ran inside and began pulling out the water pump pipe. Beth also showed courage and climbed onto the stairs, using her body weight to pull the chain and try to keep the door closed. But even then, the iron lid slowly began to open. At that very moment, a black shadow appeared above the door. Its eyes were glowing like light bulbs, as if death itself was looking down at the three of them. Without thinking, Jason attacked it with the pipe, causing it to fall backward. Jason quickly jammed the pipe into the door and closed it, and the creature ran away from there. But Jason's body was still trembling badly. He could never have imagined that outside in the world there were not only ruthless soldiers, but dangerous monsters roaming around as well. The entire family sat helplessly near the stairs because their hiding place had now been exposed. They could be attacked at any moment, and they had already realized that this time only one creature had come, but the next time they came, there would be many more of them, and they would not be able to do anything against them. After a while, suddenly the cupboard began to shake. Jason and Beth understood that it had called its other companions as well. The sound of rapid footsteps began coming from above. It seemed as if thousands of creatures were running over their heads. Then all of them gathered at the bunker door. Jason, Beth, and Joey were trembling below in fear. Suddenly, they launched a tremendous attack. This time, their strength was far greater than before. The strong iron door broke and fell to the ground, and a huge number of glowing eyes appeared at the bunker entrance, causing them to run backward in fear. But the monsters were also coming after them. Beth threw her oil lamp and set the curtain on fire between herself and the monsters. Then both of them grabbed the cupboard and blocked the path between them. They all began running rapidly toward the inside of the bunker, but they knew that all of this could not stop them for long. They had no way left to escape. Then the little girl noticed a ventilation opening leading toward the ground. Jason broke it open with all his strength and pushed his wife and daughter outside with all his might. But when he tried to get out himself, he became stuck because of the narrow space. On the other side, the monsters were moving toward him. Now Jason had to get out of there somehow. He could not see any other way. So he broke the bone in his shoulder, causing him to scream in pain, but he quickly gathered himself and entered the ventilation passage. Without wasting any time, Beth began pulling Jason out with all her strength. Just as Jason was about to come out, a huge creature came and grabbed Jason's leg. Jason realized that there was now no way he could survive. There was no hope of escaping. Looking into his wife's eyes, Jason told her that no matter what happened, she must not let anything happen to Joey. The very next moment, the monster pulled him back into the bunker. But instead of being afraid of the monsters inside the bunker, Jason told them, "Come on. Let's see how strong you really are." When Beth and Joey looked down, they could hear loud screams coming from inside the bunker. Beth understood that her husband was fighting to give them time to escape. Even in pain, she took her daughter and left the place. They came quite far away while escaping from the monsters. But while running, they felt that something was strange. They saw that the highway that once led to the outside world now had a huge wall standing there. This meant that no one could leave this city anymore. Just then, a helicopter came flying from a distance. When Beth turned around, she saw that it was an army helicopter. The helicopter quickly came toward them and shone its powerful spotlight on them. Just as the two of them were about to run away from there, a large net fell on them from above, trapping both of them. They both tried every possible way to free themselves from the net, but the net had tightly trapped them. Beth looked through the gaps in the net and saw some black shadows with green eyes approaching them. Then we finally learned the real secret of the story. The people holding guns with yellow eyes, whom we had been thinking were monsters, were actually neither aliens nor people infected by the virus. Instead, they were military soldiers wearing gas masks and night vision glasses. It was those glasses that made their eyes appear to have a yellow glow, making them look as if they were from another world. But the question is, why had the army become enemies of these people's lives? You will find out this entire secret in the little bit of the story that remains. Now Beth and Joey were both under the control of these soldiers. One of the soldiers took out a large injection and injected it into both of their necks one after the other. When their blood was tested, it was discovered that both of them were also infected with the poisonous virus. This meant that both of them were a danger to the world. In other words, they would now be killed, actually, when the virus first spread. Many people in this small city were infected by it. The virus spread through the air, and it could pass from one person to another very quickly. The infected people themselves did not even know that they were sick, and the government had no antidote to stop this virus. The government had no other option except to kill the infected people. Beth cried and begged, "Please let my daughter go." When Beth saw that these soldiers were not going to spare her little daughter either, she became completely furious. Black marks began appearing on her face. But before she could do anything, a fountain of blood suddenly burst from a soldier's neck. It was none other than Jason, who had returned from the dead. Actually, Jason had not died in the bunker. Instead, he had lost control of himself there and killed all the soldiers. At that moment, he was extremely angry. Black marks covered his face, his eyes were red with rage, and the strength of his body had increased many times. It was clearly visible that he was no longer the same Jason as before. He now appeared to be in a completely different form. He began pouncing on the soldiers and killing them, but he could not stop the bullets from their hot weapons, and he fell to the ground. When the soldiers moved toward Beth and Joey, the two of them had already broken free from the net and escaped. The soldiers began searching for them everywhere, but they had no idea that Beth had also transformed into a monstrous form. She hid Joey inside a car and started fighting the soldiers herself. She killed several soldiers and then fell onto the roof of the car after being shot. Her daughter, who was hiding in the darkness, saw everything. Seeing the condition of her parents, she also became furious and lost control of herself. With one leap, she knocked down a soldier and broke his mask. She was about to kill him when Beth stopped her in time. She did not want her daughter to become a beast as well. Beth calmed her down. Slowly, the green veins disappeared from the girl's body, and she turned back into a human. But the soldier was not so lucky. His protective mask had already been broken, and he slowly became infected by the virus. On the other hand, Jason's condition was extremely serious. Looking at his daughter's face, he ran 2 fingers across her eyes, and Jason closed his eyes forever. At that very moment, another helicopter arrived. Beth ran away with her daughter. Passing through a pile of scrap, they entered a tunnel. Just then, a light fell on their faces. When they looked, they discovered that standing in front of them was the same little boy from the neighborhood whom we had seen at the beginning of the story. The two of them then followed him. The boy led them into a cave-like tunnel where his parents and many other people were hiding. Actually, these were people who were infected with the same virus as them. In order to stay alive, they were all forced to live like rats in the darkness. This virus was certainly dangerous, but it was not deadly. The virus affected an infected person's body much more strongly when they became afraid or could no longer control their anger. But in reality, these people had learned to control themselves. They thought the soldiers in the city were monsters, but in reality, they themselves were the monsters. And with that, the story comes to an end. If you enjoy the story, please like, share, and subscribe.